good afternoon everyone. We are starting just with this newspaper reading, and you can see it like some of you have also been demanding this, that how we will see the newspaper. So let's see this. Now see, if you look at the newspapers, what we have to keep in mind, in the newspapers, first of all, we are not going like on the first page what you have to read or second page what you have to read. We are going to see that from the examination perspective, what we have to get from newspaper, any newspaper. So here we have one thing, like some questions are asked from history related aspect also. What are those questions? The questions may be related to IBC, Sangam, etc. From time to time, there are some newspapers articles related to maybe Indus Valley civilization, maybe related to Sangam architecture. Like recently we have got this Shanti Niketan and Hoysala ensembles. They have been counted under this UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Okay. So suppose that these type of things are coming into the news, like for example Shanti Niketan or Hoysala architecture or Hoysala ensembles related to any of these aspects. If anything is coming from art and culture, if any architecture or monument is there in the news, मान लेते हैं कोई UNESCO World Heritage Site है, okay. If it has been included, then we have to read about it. So this is one thing. If there is any such World Heritage Site which has been there in the news, we have to read about it. Second thing is, sometimes painting, music, classical dance, they are also mentioned. But be very aware here, be very cautious here. Many a times you will find that there is performance of some classical music and then it is also mentioned in the newspapers. मान लो किसी प्रोग्राम को ऑर्गेनाइज किया गया दिल्ली में या बाकी जगहों पे, तो दे हैव दिस न्यूज़पेपर कॉलम व्हिच इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कि हाँ कल रात को ये परफॉर्मेंस हुआ था, इसमें इतने लोग आए थे. सो वी डोंट हैव टू गो इनटू दैट. If there is a classical music and there is something remarkable about it, let us say that PM has said about this in his Man Ki Baat speeches, or it has been given some recognition by the government, or some award has been given by the government, then we have to talk about it. If there is any of the music or painting or classical dance which has been there in the news due to some award function or due to some recognition by the government or the Prime Minister himself, then we will talk about it. तो प्रधानमंत्री ने बोल दिया, गवर्नमेंट ने बोल दिया, तब हम इसको देखेंगे. अदरवाइज वी विल नॉट से इट. नॉर्मली विल फाइंड दैट दिस द न्यूज़पेपर हिंदू, दे हैव अ स्पेशल पेज आल्सो समटाइम्स, और उसमें म्यूजिक और बाकी चीजों का दिया होता है. यू डोंट हैव टू रीड ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. If it has been recognized, it will come on the front page or the first 2 or 3 pages. Then only we will talk about it. Then suppose social reformers, if they have been there in the news, like time to time क्या होता है, for example let us say Raja Ram Mohan Roy or Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, sometimes their anniversaries there, maybe their 100th anniversary or 150th anniversary or anything like that. So in that case, their news is covered in the major newspapers. You might also find some editorials about it. You might find some of the articles which is telling what they have done, or maybe related to Birsa Munda, maybe related to any tribal leader. तो टाइम टाइम पे ट्राइबल लीडर्स या सोशल रिफॉर्मर्स को लेकर अगर आपको न्यूज़पेपर में कुछ मिलता है, एंड स्पेशली इफ द गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग समथिंग अबाउट देम, मे बी गवर्नमेंट हैज रिलीज सम स्टैम्प फॉर देम और इन देयर मेमोरी और इन देयर ऑनर, देन यू हैव टू रीड इट. अगर गवर्नमेंट ने उनको कुछ रिकॉग्नाइज किया है या उनके नेम पे कुछ स्टैम्प रिलीज किया है, तो फिर आपको देखना है. So this is one thing you have to see them also if they have been there in the news. Then what not to read? मान लो कोई डेली आर्टिस्ट का परफॉर्मेंस है तो उसको आपको नहीं देखना है. डेली कुछ परफॉर्मेंस वगैरह चल रहा है, कभी आमिर खान आ गए, कभी सलमान खान आ गए, कभी और कोई आ गया, तो यू डोंट हैव टू गो इनटू दैट. ओके. देन इन द सेकंड पोर्शन इन ज्योग्राफी, what you have to read is some weather patterns which have been changing, like if there is anything related to El Nino, La Nina, or new things which have been coming up, Madden-Julian oscillation, anything new like a Pacific decadal oscillation. Okay. So these type of news which has come up, and this is something which is like telling us about the changing weather pattern or changing climate pattern, then we will see it. मान लो पोलर एरिया का क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है या ट्रॉपिकल एरिया का क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है, उसको लेकर कोई आर्टिकल है, it may be in reference of IPCC or it may be in reference to any international body, तो फिर हम उसको देखेंगे. Then at the same time, like there are news like there has been heavy rainfall, first time this much rainfall is there, second time this rainfall is there. These type of news you can easily avoid. Even if it is written that 2022 has been the warmest year, 2022 December has been warmest year, do not go into the details of the topic. You may simply read it once, but don't go into the detail of it. Because every year or every month you will find that the same news is repeated time and again. So if you find something concrete, then read it. Otherwise, simple dictation that rainfall is very high, rainfall is low, rainfall is there have been exceptional rainfall in this month, you can skip that. UPSC is not asking you about the monthly updates of weather. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि पूछा जाएगा यूपीएससी के द्वारा कि अक्टूबर मंथ में कितनी बारिश हुई थी. So this is something you can skip. Then coming to the next part, society and social justice. We are moving paper wise. We are first discussing GS paper 1 related, then we will come to GS paper 2 and GS paper 3. So see, if there is something related to society and social justice, like let us say that some articles are there related to women, children or weaker section of society. Generally you will find that these are some reports of various institutions or maybe by the government itself. गवर्नमेंट ने कोई रिपोर्ट निकाली या फिर कोई एजेंसी ने कोई रिपोर्ट निकाली वुमेन को लेकर, इकोनॉमिकली वीकर सेक्शन को लेकर या चिल्ड्रन को लेकर. मे बी चिल्ड्रन के रेस्पेक्ट में हो सकता है, फॉर एग्जांपल एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड या न्यूट्रिशन से रिलेटेड. सो इफ एनीथिंग इज कमिंग लाइक दैट फॉर वुमेन, चिल्ड्रन और वीकर और मार्जिनलाइज्ड सेक्शन, ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट व्हाट आर द फैक्ट्स and then what arguments are being given. Generally they will come in full-fledged article. It will not be a short news. It will be a full-fledged article. So try to find out what facts they are telling you. Plus at the same time try to also find out what arguments are being put by the people, what arguments are being put by the author, what they have said about it. So try to see editorials especially related to it. And if there is a law or policy, like say, let us say government has come with a new policy, like we have this Swati portal. So this Swati portal is related to women. So we will see that what are the aspects of it. So if there is a new policy or in a new law or new thing by the government, then we will look into it. Then coming to the second paper, polity and governance. In the polity and governance section, now here there is a challenge. In polity we will find that there is a lot of news and many of them are not important. Like every day a new bill is being passed. But then you have to evaluate, do it have such a long impact or a larger impact on the society as a whole? Like suppose Bharat Nyaya Sanhita, the Indian Penal Code has been now repealed and thereafter we have this Bharat Nyaya Sanhita. So now this is something which is having a very larger impact on the society. It has changed the entire course of law in India. So this is something which is a significant change. But government may bring change in very small acts also from time to time. Now they may be relevant from the law point of view, but they are not relevant from UPSC perspective. मान लो कोई एक छोटा सा एक्ट है, let us say anything related to robbery, and in that government has made some changes. So we don't have to go into the detail of that act because robbery is not something which is very much prevalent in India or something which has a larger impact on society. So that is something which we can skip. So if there is some new bills or acts having a larger impact, if that is a major change, then we will look into it. If it is a major change, then we will look into it. Otherwise, we will skip it. Then you will also find that like this Lok Sabha is going to be over now, and you will find an assessment of the Lok Sabha. You will finally get this assessment of Lok Sabha, that how well it has been functioning, how the parliament has been functioning in the last 5 years or 10 years. So if you are getting such functioning of executive or assessment of executive or parliament, then you will see it. कि मान लो पार्लियामेंट का पूरा एक रिपोर्ट कार्ड मिला पिछले 5 सालों का या 10 सालों का या कितने भी टाइम का, तो फिर वो हम देखेंगे कि हाउ द पार्लियामेंट हैज बीन फंक्शनिंग, बिकॉज द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ पार्लियामेंट इज अ सिलेबस पार्ट ऑफ योर यूपीएससी. अगर आप देखोगे डायरेक्टली उसमें मेंशन है द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, हाउ द पार्लियामेंट फंक्शंस और द एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शनिंग. So if you are finding something related to it, the functioning of executive or legislature, then we will look into it. Then important judgment of judiciary, like electoral bond. Okay, like electoral bond judgment, recently it has been given. So if there is an important judgment of judiciary, then also we will look into it. At the same time, what judgments we have to look? Those judgments which are related with fundamental rights, federal structure or other basic structure of constitution. If there is anything which is related to fundamental right or basic structure of constitution or federal structure, then we will look into it. Supreme Court is working daily. ऐसा नहीं कि Supreme Court हर दिन काम नहीं करता. We get to know about it sometimes when there is a major change, okay, or we talk about it when there is a major change. तो उसी चीज को ध्यान रखना है. UPSC will be concerned about the Supreme Court judgment when it is related to fundamental rights, federal structure or other basic structure of constitution. Then if there is a new schemes in the news, okay, if government is coming with new scheme, that is also a chance that you can get some questions around it. Okay. So if new schemes are coming, then also you can read about it. Then moving on, like if we talk about the schemes, although I have told about this earlier also, but if there is a scheme, how you can read it, how you can note down or how you can make notes of the schemes. In the schemes, first of all, you have to find out what is the ministry concerned. What is the ministry which is concerned related to the scheme. Second thing is target group, that who are included in this scheme and who are excluded. For example, if we talk about any scheme, let us say Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, which is therefore providing what? LPG connection, not gas cylinders, LPG connection only. Gas cylinder आपको खुद खरीदना पड़ेगा. Okay. So it is just therefore providing LPG connection. So there we will look into that who will be included and who will be excluded in this scheme. We will find that the women member of the family, they are getting the connection, or in their name the connection is given for this LPG. So you have to find out who are included and who are excluded, who won't be getting the benefit of PM Ujjwala. Okay. Similarly, the objective, that what will be the objective of this scheme. इसका objective क्या होगा ये भी साथ में देखना है. Then fund sharing. Some schemes are centrally sponsored, some are central sector scheme. So we have to look into that also, whether it is central sector scheme or sponsored schemes. यानी गवर्नमेंट के बीच में पैसा जो है वो बांटा जा रहा है दोनों के बीच में, या सिर्फ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ही पैसा दे रही है. तो इस चीज को भी हम यहाँ देखेंगे. एंड देन टाइम फ्रेम एंड यूनिकनेस. Like if a scheme has been launched, what will be the time frame of it? For how many years it will be there? For how many years it will be implemented? And also, what is the uniqueness? Uniqueness means, for an example, we have this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. In the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, earlier we were also having a scheme called Indira Gandhi Awas Yojana. Yeah, Indira Awas Yojana or Indira Awas Yojana. So Indira Awas Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, both of them are different in some regard. Okay. Both of them, they have some difference. The Indira Gandhi Awas Yojana was simply about making of a structure which you can call as a house. If we talk about Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, it is not just about making a structure, it is also about a functional house. A functional house includes tap water connection, it also includes LPG connections, it also includes sanitation and hygiene. So that is the major difference between Indira Awas Yojana and PM Awas Yojana. How it is unique from the previous scheme, that is also something which we have to look into. And how it is different or how it is unique from the previous scheme. पहले जो इंदिरा आवास योजना था उसमें सिर्फ एक घर का एक स्ट्रक्चर बना देना, योर होम इज रेडी. अभी पीएम आवास योजना में क्या बोला गया? यू डोंट हैव टू मेक जस्ट द होम, यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड अदर फैसिलिटी. जैसे आपको जो वॉशरूम्स है वो भी प्रोवाइड करने हैं, जो आपको एलपीजी कनेक्शन है वो भी प्रोवाइड करना है, टैप वाटर कनेक्शन है वो भी प्रोवाइड करना है. तो दैट इज हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस स्कीम. So without any bias, you have to evaluate how the scheme is different from the previous schemes. So this is one thing. Then the next thing that we have to see is international relations. अगर international relations से related कोई topic है तो what we have to see and what we have to skip. Okay. Suppose that there is any news related to India's relation with the rest of world. Okay. So we have to look into it. But see one thing. It's not that we have to look into each and every other country. For example, India may have some relations with Sudan also. India may have relations with Niger also, Somalia also, and so many other countries which you don't even know of. India is having relations with many such countries. But are those countries that much influential? क्या उन countries का इतना influence है? अगर मान लो सोमालिया कल को बोल दे हम भारत से relation नहीं रखेंगे, मत रखो, हमें क्या मालूम. So it is not that Somalia or any such a smaller countries can have a larger impact on Indian economy or India as a country. Okay. So that is one thing you have to look which news you have to read. Suppose if there is a news article related to India's relation with United States, with Canada, with France, Britain, with that of entire European Union or any such larger country, then we will look into it. Europe में भी बहुत सारी छोटी-छोटी countries है. For example, Poland. कल को के Poland बोले कि नहीं, we don't have to talk with India. Many people don't even know where Poland is located on the map. Okay. आपको मालूम ही नहीं होगा Poland map पे कहाँ है. कि आप मैप पढ़ते हो तो पता है, बट थिंक अबाउट इट, many of the people won't even know where Poland is on the map. So if there is any such challenge, if there is any such challenge in India Poland relation, that is not important. ये मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, ऐसा नहीं Poland country है, exist करता है, मैप पे भी है, but it is not as much important as Britain or France or Germany for that matter. तो हमें इस चीज को ध्यान रखना कि which are the country which really matters. For example, Italy, it may be a developed country, but our relation with Italy, even if it is not good, it doesn't matter. Italy is not so much influential country in the Western world. Italy may be a good country, Italy may be a developed country, anything, but it is not an influential country. There are hardly 10 countries which influence the world. There are hardly 10 countries which influence the world, and we will be reading about them only. तो इस चीज को यहाँ पे ध्यान रखना कि India's relation with rest of world doesn't means all the 190 plus countries. It means only those 5 or 10 countries which really matter. Or mainly we talk about the blocks now. Like European Union is a bloc, African countries are a bloc together, South American countries are a bloc together. So we will talk about them as a bloc, not as an individual country. Okay. Like in the eastern side also, we have Southeast Asia as a bloc. So we are not talking about India's relation with Laos or Cambodia. We are talking about India's relation with Southeast Asian countries, okay, or the ASEAN countries. Okay. So this is one thing which you have to keep in mind, who will matter here. Then, मान लो, if there is something related to reforms in global institution, suppose that there is some reform in WTO, there is some reform in United Nations Security Council, United Nations General Assembly. तो अब इन सब में अगर कोई रिफॉर्म हो रहा है, इन सब में कोई चेंज हो रहा है, then we will talk about them also, we will discuss about them also. Then major change in global order. Okay, now see, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like suppose that, although this is something which rarely happens, but let us suppose that, for an example, let us imagine that China and US become very close friends. Let us examine, let us just imagine this, China and US become very close friends. Okay. So this will change the entire global order. Or let us say that Russia and US come together, that yes, now we are forming a military alliance. Okay. So if there is a major shift in global order or some war-like situation, then we will talk about it. For example, Russia-Ukraine crisis is not just Russia-Ukraine crisis. Russia-Ukraine crisis is Russia and Western world crisis. रशिया यूक्रेन क्राइसिस ऐसा नहीं कि लोग यूक्रेन को लेकर कंसर्न है. यूक्रेन डजंट मैटर हियर. यूक्रेन इज अ कंट्री व्हिच इज सपोर्टेड बाय द वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड, एंड सो इफ रशिया इज इन्वेडिंग ऑन यूक्रेन, इट इज रशिया वर्सेस वेस्ट, नॉट रशिया वर्सेस यूक्रेन. तो इस चीज को देखना, इफ देयर इज अ मेजर शिफ्ट इन ग्लोबल ऑर्डर, देन वी विल टॉक अबाउट इट. देन another thing, international events attended by Indian PM or president. If there is a major event and in which prime minister is participating or president is participating, then we will talk about it. Okay. अब देखो 2019 से पहले our president was mostly abroad. Okay. तो उस टाइम में आपको पढ़ना पड़ता था बार बार, because prime minister was mostly abroad, so he was like participating in all the events. So at that time it was tough. Okay. But now the prime minister is mostly at home, so you don't have to worry about it. Prime minister अभी बाहर कम जा रहे हैं, तो इतना सोचना नहीं है. So this is one of the thing, if prime minister is attending some international event, then you have to know about it. For example, if prime minister went to United Nations General Assembly and if he is delivering a keynote speech there, of course you will have to read about everything related to that. Okay. उस साल आपको United Nations General Assembly के बारे में पढ़ के जाना होगा. So this is one thing, if PM is going there or Indian president is going there, then it matters. Suppose there is any such daily update of existing bilateral treaty. For example, India and France has decided that now the trade barrier will be removed for 500 more items. Okay. जैसे अगर इंडिया और फ्रांस का रिलेशन को लेकर न्यूज आया कि इंडिया और फ्रांस ने डिसाइड किया, we will now remove the tariff on 50 plus goods also, or we will make 50 plus goods tariff free. ये डेली का जो अपडेट है या डेली बायलैटरल ट्रीटीज है, या फिर मान लो इंडिया एक्सटेंडेड 200 मिलियन लाइन क्रेडिट टू बांग्लादेश और इंडिया एक्सटेंडेड 100 मिलियन क्रेडिट लाइन टू श्रीलंका. तो इस टाइप के जो न्यूज है उनको हमें नहीं देखना है. दे आर नॉट सिग्निफिकेंट फ्रॉम द एग्जाम पर्सपेक्टिव. क्लियर? अब आते हैं व्हाट टू रीड इन इकोनॉमी. इकोनॉमी इज वन सच सेक्शन where you will get a lot of news, and finding the right one is the major challenge. Okay. Because in IR, in other things, you get direct news or you get directly a topic, but in economy, so many things are there and finding it is very difficult. Like what you will read, if there is some major change in economic policy, suppose that government has changed FDI policy, government has changed export policy, then you will read about it. But let us say that government decided on one particular day that we will like ban the export of onion to rest of world. Okay. Government decide kiya for 1 month or 2 months we will ban the export of onion or rice. Now this is a matter of 1 or 2 months. ऐसा नहीं कि गवर्नमेंट परमानेंटली बैन कर रही है, 1-2 मंथ के लिए बैन कर रही है. So this is not something which we are going to see. Okay. If it is a regular thing, then we will look into whether banning of these exports is good or not. But if it is a one-time event, then we are not concerned about it. मान लो 1 मंथ में सरकार ने अनियन के एक्सपोर्ट पे बैन लगा दिया, तो यूपीएससी पूछेगी क्यों बैन लगाया? So they will not be asking about this, that why the government has banned this for 1 month. Okay. So this is something which we have to keep in mind. The small things do not matter from the perspective of examination. If there is some major change in economic policy, then we will look into it. Then suppose that there is new announcement for various sectors like MSME, food processing, agriculture. Okay. So suppose now the farmers are protesting. So government decided one day that okay, now we are going to give लीगल गारंटी टू एमएसपी. अगर मान लो जैसे भी फार्मर प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है, गवर्नमेंट ने बोल दिया नाउ वी आर मेकिंग एमएसपी अंडर द लीगल प्रोविजंस, so now that will be a major change, so then we will talk about it. Otherwise simple changes do not matter here also, but if there is a major change related to MSME sector, food processing sector, agriculture sector or any such significant sector of our economy, then it matters, and particularly agriculture, MSME and food processing. Why? Government has been focusing on this sector. This is a labor intensive sector, this is a export intensive sector, so government is focusing around this. सॉफ्टवेयर सेक्टर में गवर्नमेंट कोई बदलाव लेकर आती है, आप नहीं भी देखोगे, एग्जाम में पूछे जाने के चांसेस कम है, बिकॉज सॉफ्टवेयर सेक्टर इज नॉट सच अ सेक्टर व्हिच इज हैविंग अ मेजर इंपैक्ट ऑन द लाइफ ऑफ द पीपल. इट मे हैव अ मेजर इंपैक्ट ऑन द इकोनॉमी बट नॉट ऑन द लाइफ ऑफ द पीपल. बट इफ देयर इज अ चेंज इन द एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर, it is going to impact at least 50% of the population. तो यहाँ पे आप लोगों के बारे में सोचना कि लोगों पे किसका ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट होगा. If more people are impacted due to agriculture policy, we will read about agriculture. So this is one thing. Then another thing is new initiative by RBI. अब RBI के initiatives में confuse मत होना. Many a times you will find that RBI is coming with various schemes related to banks also, cooperatives also and other things. Okay. तो समय समय पे छोटे स्कीम्स भी आरबीआई लेके आती है. बट लाइक टेक एन एग्जांपल, आरबीआई हैज कम विद अ सिस्टम कॉल्ड एज लाइट वेट पेमेंट सिस्टम. लास्ट ईयर आरबीआई हैज कम विद दिस न्यू सिस्टम, लाइट वेट पेमेंट सिस्टम. आई होप यू नो अबाउट इट. लाइट वेट पेमेंट सिस्टम इज सिंपली अ bunker alternative of the payment system. Like we have normal UPI, RTI, UPI, RTGS, NEFT and other things, IMPS and all. So they are commonly used payment platform. But suppose that due to war or due to any such exigency, if our normal payment system fail, then it will be a crisis. आज के समय में पूरा गवर्नमेंट जो है या बैंकिंग सेक्टर जो है वो इन सभी मीडियम्स पर डिपेंड करता है. So if UPI and other payment system fail, it will be a crisis for our economy. So RBI is going to develop a new lightweight payment system, which will be like a bunker alternative. अगर आपने US की मूवीज देखी है, you might have seen most of the time their president is under attack in those movies. Okay. And they have a bunkers where they save their president. Okay. So it is a simple a bunker alternative of payment system. If our payment system is under attack, we will have a bunker system of payment which will be used for emergency cases only. ऐसा नहीं कि हम उसका डेली इस्तेमाल करें, we are using it for emergency purposes. So if RBI is coming with such a major step like lightweight payment system or UPI Lite, UPI 123 Pay or new initiative for the bank or NBFC sector, like last time RBI has announced that now it will bring the NBFC under prompt corrective action. Okay. So this is a major change. So if there is any major initiative by RBI, we will read into it. But RBI क्या है, हर 2 महीने पे रेपो रेट भी चेंज करती है, पॉलिसी रेट चेंज करती है. So this is not something which we are concerned about. Repo rate, reverse repo rate, any rate which is changing, we are not concerned about it. Now another thing is trends of major economic indicator. Now this is something which you have to see annually or monthly. This is not something which is of daily news. ये आपको daily news article में नहीं, ये भी आपको editorials या analysis में मिलेगा. In Hindu or in Indian Express, you will find that text and context is there or explain page is there. So there you will sometimes you will find that there is trend of economy. Okay. Trend of economy, like over the 5 years or over the 10 years, how the economy has been performing in terms of forex reserve, in terms of export, in terms of import. So generally these data are also coming from economic survey or sometimes analysis from the newspaper. तो ये डेली बेसिस पे जो न्यूज आएंगे उससे अपडेट नहीं करना है. जब लंबा एनालिसिस आएगा किसी टॉपिक को लेकर, जब कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव एनालिसिस आएगा तब हम वहां से नोट डाउन करेंगे that how the forex reserve has been performing over the last 4 or 5 years, or how the exports have been there, how the exports have been faring in the last 5 years. कैसा एक्सपोर्ट रहा है, एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ रहा है, घट रहा है, लॉन्ग टर्म में, नॉट अबाउट 1 month 2 month और 1 year, इन अ लॉन्ग टर्म 5 years 10 years, तब उसमें इकोनॉमी का एक्चुअल मालूम चलता है, हाउ द इकोनॉमी इज परफॉर्मिंग. सो व्हाट नॉट टू रीड, ये मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दिया. हाउ मच लोन इज गिवन टेकन, पैसा लेके कोई भाग गया, वो भी नहीं देखना है. Then what to read in environment? If suppose any species is there in the news, any protected area, law or policy, institution, protocol, convention. तो environment में बहुत ही sorted है. Environment में if you have any species which is there in the news or protected area, laws and policies or institution, protocol and conventions, you have to read about it. Okay. Species में ध्यान देना. It's like every day you will find many species are there in the news, but you have to talk about them. Those who are in the state of extinction. या those who are new. अगर कोई नया स्पीसीज आ रहा है और those who are at the verge of extinction, those who are critically endangered, उनके बारे में हमें पढ़ना है. वैसे स्पीसीज तो मिलियंस में है, so we cannot read about each and everything, or maybe if there is something unique, or if Bollywood actors are concerned about it. Like once there was this Gucci mushroom. There was an Instagram reel which became viral, and then UPSC asked question about it, that all Gucci mushroom. Okay. So if Bollywood actors become concerned about some sensitive species, then you have to also read that. Okay. So UPSC is also very much fan of Bollywood. Now, what to read in science tech? Okay. Sorry, protocols and conventions. Okay. For example, Great Indian Bustard. Okay. For example, this Great Indian Bustard, recently we have seen that Supreme Court has given the direction to the government that you have to come with a plan for this Great Indian Bustard. Yes, ये PDF मिल जाएगी आप लोगों को. Okay. पिछले वाले PDF मिल गए थे ना? मिल गए थे ना? चलो नेक्स्ट टॉपिक पे आते हैं. What to read in science and tech? Now see, if in science and tech there is new thing, new development, like suppose that any new thing is coming related to artificial intelligence, or like suppose 6G technology is there in the news. If new technology is there, Internet of Things, optical fiber, etc., then you have to read it. Science में simply एक concept लगाना. If you are finding some news articles which you are able to understand, it is something worth reading. अगर आपको समझ में आ रहा है मतलब एग्जाम में पूछा जा सकता है. अगर आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो एग्जाम में नहीं पूछा जाएगा. ये सिंपल सा कॉन्सेप्ट है. व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दिस? सी, टू पर्सपेक्टिव आर देयर. वन इज प्रीलिम्स रिलेटेड थिंग, वन इज मेंस. In the mains examination, they are asking very simple questions from science tech. They are asking questions like, what is the application of biotechnology in the health sector, or what is the use of artificial intelligence in health sector. अब ये जो चीज है आपको आसानी से समझ में आ जाएगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ देयर इज एन आर्टिकल रिलेटेड टू आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस अबाउट हेल्थ सेक्टर, वो आपको समझ में आ जाएगी. बट सपोज दैट if there is a detail of artificial intelligence, like suppose they have given a wholesale analysis of this, like how the artificial intelligence system are developed, what are the deep neural networks, what are the all different components of it. कुछ टाइम के बाद आपको समझ में आना बंद हो जाएगा. तो जहां बंद हो जाए समझो ये एग्जाम के लिए रेलेवेंट नहीं है. That is the simple concept in science. And take the UPSC previous year questions. You will find that they have never asked a question which is tough. Okay. There are exceptions. There are exceptions, like once they have asked what is Bose-Einstein statistics. Or so that was one time. but normally they will ask you those questions which are quite much simple. वो उसका एप्लीकेशन पे सवाल पूछते हैं, ना कि टेक्नोलॉजी पे सवाल पूछते हैं. So they are not concerned about what is the science and what is the technology there. They are concerned about the application of technology. So even if you are reading about artificial intelligence, you don't have to go into the deep of it. That what exactly is artificial intelligence, how it works, क्या क्या processes है, कौन से chips लगाएंगे तब काम करेगा. You don't have to go into that. You have to simply see if AI is there, how we can use it. How we can use it, that was something which we have to read. Now, another part, biotechnology. Like last time we have discussed about this next card 19, okay, CAR T cell therapy. Last session में हम लोगों ने CAR T cell therapy discuss किया था. So if new thing is coming in biotech, GM crop, stem cell therapy or anything related to that, anything related to medicine, तब आपको उसको पढ़ना है. Then also new development in space technology. Space technology, like suppose that ISRO has come up with a new mission, and that mission is significant in the aspect like when we talk about Chandrayaan mission. This was a very large mission. This was something which was highly impactful. But at the same time, ISRO has other missions also. Like yearly it launches many such missions which are simply like communication satellites. कई बार ISRO क्या सिर्फ communication satellite launch करती है, या जो पुराने satellites खराब हो गए उनका replacement भेजती है. So these are not something which are important for us. Like if Chandrayaan is there, if Aditya L1 mission is there, if Gaganyaan mission is there, they are important. तो जब कोई अच्छा ऐसा मिशन हो जिसका लार्ज टर्म इंपैक्ट हो, जो फर्स्ट टाइम किया जा रहा हो, दे आर इंपॉर्टेंट, नॉट ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. सेकेंड इज इंटरनेशनल स्पेस मिशंस. It is not that just the ISRO is sending mission. Even the NASA is coming with different missions. European Space Agency is coming, Japanese Space Agency is coming, and other countries in the world. Okay. So हमें Pakistan is not sending a space missions. Pakistan is saying हमें चांद पे जाने की जरूरत नहीं, हमारे पास चांद पहले से है. Okay. So they are not sending a space missions. So see, so if any such international space agency is sending the space missions, we don't have to very much worry about it. देखो, नासा ने जेम्स वेब स्पेस टेलीस्कोप लॉन्च किया था. So this was something which was really remarkable. James Webb Space Telescope was something which was remarkable, and UPSC has asked question about it. But NASA has launched various missions in the last 5 years. UPSC is not concerned about that. It is simply because it is not something entirely changing the landscape of science and tech or space technology. It is something which is just a regular event. So we don't have to look into the regular event of NASA, European Space Agency, Japanese Space Agency, or any other. Okay. We have to look into those things which are changing the entire landscape of space technology, like James Webb Space Telescope. Like there is another thing, Artemis Accord. In the Artemis Accord, they are trying to build a lunar space station. We have a space station. We have a space station on Earth also. But now they are trying to build a lunar space station, means a space station around the moon, where we will have like the different astronauts going there for observation also in the upcoming future. Okay. So this is one thing you have to read in science. Then daily missile test, daily development, these are something which you can skip. Okay. Agni Prime 5 का लॉन्च हुआ, कितने दूर गया, कहां से लॉन्च किया गया, ये सब नहीं देखना है. एक बार इंडिया ने मिसाइल लॉन्च किया था, गलती से पाकिस्तान भी चला गया वो. सो दीज मिस्टेक्स ऑल्सो हैपन, बट ठीक है, उसको भी नहीं देखना है. Now come back to again this topic, editorial. Coming to this part, editorial, that how we have to go for it. Now see, take 1 or 2 editorial on daily basis. Hindu is coming with 4 or 5 daily editorials, but you don't have to look into all those 5 editorials. Take 1 or 2 which are relevant for you. Simply take one thing in mind, you cannot give more than 90 minutes for current affairs on daily basis. Maximum 60 to 90 minutes. This should be the ideal time. इससे ज़्यादा time current affairs पे नहीं देना है. Notes बनाकर. You don't have to give more than 90 minutes on daily basis. क्योंकि आप ये एक ऐसा portion है जिसपे आप daily time दे रहे हो. History you may be reading for 15 days. Then after you will go to geography, economy or anything. But for करंट अफेयर्स यू आर डेली गिविंग 90 मिनट्स एंड दैट विल बी मोर देन सफिशिएंट। तो 3-4 ही आर्टिकल पढ़ो, बट इससे ज्यादा टाइम मत दो। इफ द न्यूज इज इंपॉर्टेंट इट विल बी कवर्ड लेटर। अगर न्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट है तो बाद में भी आएगा, अगर न्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है तो नहीं आएगा। So this is one thing. If something is important, it will come multiple times. So 90 minutes. Now see, editorial से आपको क्या क्या लेना है? Take the facts from there. Suppose if there is a editorial in Hindu or Indian Express, आपको मालूम चलेगा वो कुछ भी आर्गुमेंट देने से पहले उसके पहले फैक्ट देते हैं। For example, if they are saying something about MSP, they will first give you the facts that what is the MSP scheme, how many farmers are getting benefit from it, or what is the challenge. So they will give you some facts there and you have to take it from there. These facts can be used for writing the introduction. Okay. You can use this for writing introduction. At the same time, जब आप कोई argument दे रहे हो तो उस argument में भी अपने point को substantiate करने के लिए आप facts का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो। Second thing is, note down the arguments which are both positive and negative. अब यहाँ पे बहुत लोगों को confusion होता है कि if some editorial is written, you may think कि it is going against the government or it is going against your view. हो सकता है MSP को लेकर आपका भी अपना कुछ व्यूज हो, and the editorial may be completely against it. हो सकता है एक जैसे मान लेते हैं for an example कि you are in favor of legal guarantee to MSP. मान लो आप फेवर में हो कि हाँ MSP को लीगल गारंटी मिलनी चाहिए, but then you have come with a editorial where it is written why it should not be given. तो ऐसा नहीं कि उस editorial को हम पढ़ेंगे ही नहीं। You have to read that editorial and you have to take the points, क्योंकि आपसे एग्जाम में पूछा जा सकता है why it should not be given और why it should be given. Means वो अलग बात है, MSP क्यों दिया जाता है उस या क्या है उस पे हम अभी बाद में आएंगे, but this is simply why it should be given और why not given. इसका दोनों का अगर आर्गुमेंट मिले दोनों को हमें लिखना है. We have to get both of it. Then note down some policies, report or laws mentioned there. Sometimes when they are writing the editorials, and this is the speciality of Hindu and Indian Express. जो हिंदू और इंडियन एक्सप्रेस है उसमें एडिटोरियल की यही स्पेशलिटी है कि दे आर नॉट सिंपली राइटिंग एनीथिंग इन जस्ट लाइक रैंडमली. इफ दे आर राइटिंग समथिंग दे आर गिविंग प्रॉपर like authentication of it. They will take reference from some report, some facts given by the government or facts given by other agency. तो हिंदू में अगर कोई editorials लिख रहे हैं तो आपको मिलेगा कि they are backing it by some evidence. वो कुछ ना कुछ evidence जरूर देते हैं. So try to note down those policies, report और laws which are mentioned there. तो ये चीज आपको करनी है और suggestions भी लिखे जाते हैं तो note down the suggestions also. And if you do like this और डेली आप एक एडिटोरियल भी कर लेते हो तो भी आपका काम बनता चला जाएगा. थिंक अबाउट दिस, इन 1 ईयर यू आर कलेक्टिंग अराउंड 365 टॉपिक्स. इससे ज्यादा यूपीएससी में टॉपिक्स नहीं है. इट इज नॉट दैट यू हैव टू रीड 1000 और 2000 टॉपिक्स. इवन इफ यू हैव read 350 प्लस करंट अफेयर टॉपिक फॉर मेंस, इट इज मोर देन सफिशिएंट. एंड व्हाट यू विल फाइंड दैट जस्ट आफ्टर 6 मंथ्स, जैसे आपके पास 150 टॉपिक्स हो गए, जस्ट आफ्टर दैट यू विल फाइंड दैट देयर इज नो न्यू थिंग कमिंग अप. सेम चीज बार बार रिपीट हो रही है. So this is one thing which happens once you have done 150 or 200 topics, you will not get anything new. तो इसलिए आप डेली बेसिस पे एक ही कर लो उतना ही काफी है. ऐसा नहीं कि डेली बेसिस पे आपको 4-4 एडिटोरियल करने हैं. Even 1 or 2 is more than sufficient, but don't exceed this time. Second thing, normally what I see that कि जब आप notes बनाते हो तो whatever is written there in the newspaper, you also note it down. अब उस तरीके से नहीं लिखना है. सिंपली एक कोशिश करो कि जो भी उन्होंने बोला है ट्राई टू राइट इट इन योर ऑन वर्ड्स, ताकि आपकी राइटिंग स्किल डेवलप हो. यू विल नॉट रिमेंबर व्हाट दे हैव सेड, बट वंस यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दैट कॉन्सेप्ट, वंस यू हैव डेवलप्ड दैट आर्ट ऑफ राइटिंग, देन यू कैन राइट इट इन द एग्जामिनेशन ऑल्सो. अगर आपको मालूम है कि वो कैसा क्या लिखा है, उस चीज को आप समझ गए तो आप अपने वर्ड्स में लिखो. इफ यू आर नॉट राइटिंग इन योर ऑन वर्ड्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट विल बी बल्की. सेकेंड थिंग, इट वॉन्ट बी यूजफुल फॉर यू. तो पहले खुद के वर्ड्स में उस एडिटोरियल्स के जो पॉइंट्स है उसको लिखना है, ना कि जो लिखा हुआ है वही सेम टू सेम कॉपी पेस्ट करना है. तो उससे अच्छा तो आप एडिटोरियल का पूरा कट कॉपी पेस्ट करके ही डाल दो, या फिर उसको पेज का क्लिपिंग रख लो, वो भी आप बाद में पढ़ सकते हो. तो सेम लैंग्वेज नहीं, आपको अपने लैंग्वेज में लिखना है. दैट इज मोर प्रेफरेंशियल. क्लियर?